you and Will Smith have been separated since 2016?
That's the truth. That is the truth. But the day we got married, I knew there was going to be trouble. At our wedding, someone stood up and objected.
Who was it?
It was me, yeah.
This morning, I just wanted to take some time and just say thank you. And just to all of you that are willing to read and hear my story beyond the headlines. I found out yesterday that we made it to number 3 on the New York Times bestsellers list.
Did Jada ever really do anything wrong, or have you just been force-fed unoriginal thoughts about a woman that you don't even know? Find out on our next Red Table Talk.
On this Red Table Talk.
I have to laugh. I have to laugh because they did it. They did exactly what it is that I thought that they were going to do. Sometimes I genuinely wonder when people would stop giving celebrities as much power as they do. Because clearly all it takes is for someone like Jada, who now a lot of people seem to hate, to receive such a grand amount of attention from the masses. It's kind of funny actually, because for the people to claim that they hate her like they do, the irony is in the amount of attention she receives. But regardless of if you love her or hate her, whether you think she's doing wrong or right, at the end of the day, she is living her life. While Jada went on this press tour telling all of her business, I want you to keep in mind that she's releasing a book. And while the public goes up in a frenzy talking about how much they hate her for what she did to Will, as if he doesn't know that this is happening, as if he's just a powerless man that couldn't leave her if he wanted to, I knew that it was all a marketing strategy. As Jada Pinkett went on to overwhelmingly overshare information that nobody asked for, of course the media and the public did what they always do, and that is tune in, be nosy, and form unnuanced opinions about a situation without ever looking at the bigger picture, without ever fully analyzing said situation before commenting on it. Basically, just being a bunch of emotional, loudmouth buffoons who project their own issues onto other people. And when I say this, I'm specifically talking about those that love to fuel gender wars, those who love to believe every headline or negative connotation without ever putting into thought what actually makes sense. Because if anybody would have thought before speaking, they would have realized that she was just telling all of her business because she was putting out a book. I don't know, it's kind of not rocket science, but anyway. Because of the state society seems to be in as it pertains to this weird gender war that's happening that literally irks my nerves, a lot of people got off on the idea that Jada is just this big bad monster that keeps breaking Will's heart and embarrassing him, when in reality, coming from the man's mouth himself, they both went into their marriage with issues and they both played a part in its rough patches. But regardless of what went on or who did what, neither one of them is helpless or more innocent than the other, because for one, their relationship is a piece of their life that serves as a learning experience for them, and 2, we don't know these. Most of what you hear from any media outlet will be edited or pried out of a situation with the intentions of tugging at the part of your mind that reacts to drama and negativity. And most of you fall for it simply because it's to get your attention, and attention is currency, regardless of if you're directly coming out of your pocket for it or not. I think where the issue for a lot of people comes in is that in the Black community, Will and Jada were viewed as the pinnacle of Black love for the millennial to early Gen Z. We viewed them as this picture-perfect love story because from the outside looking in, they seemed to have the family dynamic everyone was supposed to want, never knowing or understanding how those who were a part of it actually felt. But when that picture-perfect image came crashing down because of the fact that Jada is more willing to be vocal about her experience, she got the backlash.
Such a new respect for each other. And I was just talking to him before I came here, and he's like, I'm just so proud of you. He's like, I'm so proud of you. He's like, you're taking a lot of bullets for us. You know, he's like, I could never do this. And he's like, I just thank you. And he says, and I love you, and I'm with you.
As people, this is something I want us to understand. Although we may be fans of what they do, when it comes to their personal life as it relates to anyone in the public eye, we have to learn to mind our business. And they have to learn to keep us out of the group chat. Basically, in other words, they need to stop telling us their business too. Because while y'all are making think pieces about this woman's life under a blog's Instagram comments, she's literally laughing to the bank and receiving congratulatory messages from her family and friends following this accomplishment. This is a prime example of why you don't praise anything for what it seems or try to make yourself or anyone else fit into a box of what you think is supposed to be for appearance purposes. Because when that thing you were taught to box in doesn't fit, it leads to disappointment and emotional outbursts as such.
That Jada movement, it don't make you want to really be that close with a woman.
What's working for Jada and Will is working for them. It may not be how your ideal relationship is supposed to look, but that's exactly why you're not in it. It's difficult to tell somebody not to feed into something that's being shoved in their face. I get it. Like, of course you're gonna have an opinion, or in whatever you see, you're human. However, becoming emotional and consumed with what has absolutely nothing to do with you or your life is useless. The reason I like to talk about these kinds of topics is because from the very beginning of my journey, when I first started making YouTube videos, I was always front and forward about how I feel about people idolizing celebrities. Something I've always said is how celebrities are human and how they are not our superheroes or anyone to idolize. It's okay to admire, to be inspired, and to be entertained. That's what they're here for. But when the lines start to get crossed between what's real and what's not, that's where the problem lies. And as you spend all this time being consumed with their lives, you spend less time thinking about yours. And as Jada stirs up drama and has you talking about how horrible of a wife she is, regardless of if the people who bought her book loves her or hates her, she did something that every author strives for and accomplished her goal of getting your attention and becoming a New York Times bestseller with her family right there by her side, including Will.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
By the way, everybody claiming that her book was a flop doesn't really know how book sales work. So I'm gonna just leave that at that.
That's terrible.
Real love, dark skin and Aunt Viv love. That Jada in that Will love. That leave a toothbrush at your crib love. And you ain't gotta wonder.